I've done a bit of research, and it's not. It wilts it, something chronic. So the two teams are lining up, and before we start the game, we'll hear a minute's applause in memory of Leila Belensky, who played for Ince Rose Bridge in Wigan and was a founding member of the Pantheresses. She suffered a stroke at the age of 14 and spent a year making what seemed like a full recovery, but sadly just 2 days after her 15th birthday, she tragically and unexpectedly died. Her story has touched the lives of hundreds, and tributes have poured in across the rugby league community. Leila Belensky, forever 15.
And join us in a minute's applause to celebrate the life of Leila Belensky.
Beautifully observed by everybody here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium from both sets of supporters as we gave a minute's applause to the memory of Leila Belensky. Referee tonight is Aaron Moore. He's about to get play underway. Our video referee this evening is Tom Grant. And both sides all set for what should be, fingers crossed, Kyle, a cracker of a clash.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the home team, they moved the ball incredibly well. The challenge teams, yes, they've got pieces missing out there. But this Wakefield side, you know, they come here this afternoon, start as underdogs, no mistake about that. But for Wigan, they'll just want to get back to winning ways, particularly with what happened over at Castleford last night. A dominant performance from KR.
Confident first reception from Bevan French there, back in the side this evening, having missed out against Huddersfield last week. And it's normally the case, isn't it, Kyle, when French and Field play together, that usually spells disaster for the opposition.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Their hands are involved in so many good things, as is this man here, Super League's top tackle buster, Junior Nsemba.
First touch for him as Brad O'Neill waits behind for dummy half, and Wakefield having to do some defending in these early stages as Mathieu Kozar, who's in the side tonight, replacing Mike McMeekan, gets his first tackle in. How big a loss is that going to be for Wakefield tonight? Because he's been absolutely superb all season, McMeekan.
Yeah, he's been enormous. 76 minutes last week for a front row, 163 metres from 19 carries, Fraser. Somebody out there has to do that work for him.
Max Jowett with his first take of the evening for Wakefield Trinity, another key player in their side, who's been hugely consistent all the way through, but he's taken a bit of a whack there and is going down in the challenge. He'll have to have some treatment as Mason Lino moves the ball away for Lachlan Walmsley to take the tackle, but I can tell you that Max Jowett is still in an awful lot of bother here, and if Wakefield lose him early stages, that could be a real problem for Trinity.
Yeah, well, heading into round 14, Fraser, he was Super League's top point scorer, and he registered 16 in that 24-20 loss last week. He is key for the attack of Wakefield. Early kick here.
Jowett with a towel to his face at the moment then, as this one is driven right into the corner. And that'll be an easy take for Jay Field, but given some treatment by the Wakefield attackers in the shape of Ollie Pratt.
Yeah, smart play there. Tackle 4 from Truman. Just traps Jay Field in the corner. Wonderful chase on the left edge by Seth Nicotimo. You've got to do a job on this man, Liam Marshall. He is the Super League meter eater, averaging over 200 metres a game.
We also saw Marshall last week, of course, beating the record previously set by Pat Richards. He's now the all-time highest try scorer in Super League, Liam Marshall. He needs 2 more tries for 150 So he'll be chomping at the bit to try and get himself on the score sheet yet again tonight as Wigan kick forward. And this one is a tester for Lachlan Walmsley, back in the side this evening for Wakefield, having missed out against Lee last week. Brings it forward to about 15 metres from his own side, and you can see Jowett now has the wadding stuffed up his nose, having taken that bit of a whack early doors, so they make him tough round here.
Yeah, just on Lachlan Walmsley there. It was a wonderful take, backpedaling. Missed out last week, as you mentioned. 5 tries in the last 4 appearances for him. It just means Darryl Powell has every bit of trust to put him back in the side when needed. As they move the ball out towards his edge now. Josh Griffin can't take it in.
Oh, spilled by Griffin. And the ball was fizzing out towards him. And he just took his eye off it for a millisecond.
And the ball was moved out to this right edge. But Jake Wardle was right in his eye line at his physical best. It means that Josh Griffin just spills the ball around the 40-metre mark away from his own end. Jake Wardle with a shoulder contact.
You can have all the experience in the world, and it's Josh Griffin's 18th season in Super League, but every so often things like that happen, just to reiterate the fact that everybody's human. Scrum down then, just inside Wakefield territory, and Wigan have possession. And Adam Kieran being shoved back a long way here by the eager Wakefield defence, right to the halfway line.
Yeah, good work there. Positive reaction from an error.
Kade Ellis.
Doesn't he do a lot of work, Fraser, for Wigan? A lot of work through the middle of that field. 20 carries to his name last week and 45 tackles. He really is a solid team player and a key player in this Wigan outfit.
One of the unsung heroes, I think many would say, given the amount of work that he gets through without it being particularly flashy. There he is with another one. Solid player. Here's Harry Smith for the visitors, and now Junior Nsemba to the 20-metre line. With Kozar just having to track back here as Lino gets the tackle in. This is the last one. And he's taking a long time here, Brad O'Neill, to get this one eventually free, which they do. To Brevin French with a chip over the top. Everyone chasing after it, including Johnstone and Jowett. And Jowett gambled there, and he's totaled our camera in the corner.
Well, looks like it's being given as a goal line dropout. I initially thought that he managed to do enough to let that ball go dead.
Well, Max Jowett is right in the thick of everything in these opening stages. We are doing our best to repair the camera in the corner. And I think our cameramen are going to want danger money in future if that's the kind of thing they're going to have to deal with. You don't want Max Jowett steaming in towards you at great speed.
You just see perhaps there, he catches Max Jowett. Well, there was no chance we were going to get the other camera angle.
I tell you what, it's quite amusing, but I am slightly concerned at what might happen if we have to go to the video referee in the corner, because that camera may not be working. It's got a short kick-off from Jowett, and he's made a hash of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's only gone 6 or 7 metres and rolled over the sideline. So we're going to get the ball on a turnover here, 10 metres out from under the black dot. And this is where Wakefield have to be at their very best here, because there's threats to both sides of the ball.
Well, let's hope our cameraman is OK. We'll be sending Max Jowett a bill for that one as Farrell comes forward. 10 metres short of the Wakefield line, and they've got tackles in the bank here, Wigan, as O'Neill flies it across to the left-hand side for Byrne to come forward. O'Neill again goes to his right this time. Kade Ellis with a turn and a spin, and then a push back from Wakefield Trinity, and they're pushing him back in droves here. Excellent defence from the home side as they hunt in packs. Ellis to O'Neill. French now. Spiral pass. They miss out a player. Down it comes to the left flank for Liam Marshall to try and skip inside. Walmsley and Hall are there to attend, keeping Wigan at bay in these early stages as Smith gets it out into the middle through to Luke Thompson, who's back in the side this evening for Wigan. This is the last tackle. They go to the left-hand side. Smith into Nsemba. Nsemba just short. Just short. And that is an awful lot of work that has to go into stopping that young man from getting over the try line.
Yeah, but they do enough, the right edge. They come up with a couple of players in that set. Defensively, solid. and on that occasion just pulled the big man down 5 metres away.
Wakefield down with a chance to push themselves away from their own try line, and here he comes, Captain Chaos, Kaius Faatili, a real cult hero among the Wakefield fans, as Pitts gets one away into the middle for Kozar.
There's another one who can carry a ball with intent, Koza. They come out to Griffin, this time he holds on to it and runs directly at Smith.
And Nsemba, there's a brave man who does that, but that's exactly meat and drink for Josh Griffin. Down the line they go, Pitts over the top as Pratt is brought down midway through Wakefield territory. This is on the 5th, and a high kick goes up from Truman. Tester again for Field, but again equal to it.
Yeah, solid defensive set there from the Warriors. Only 20 metres gained, and wonderful kick pressure from Luke Thompson. It just means that through Zach Eckersley, they can just edge nearly over into Wakefield's half.
I'll have to say, I think everybody's heart was in their mouth when Zach Eckersley had the ball right in the corner in the dying seconds of the game at Huddersfield, and he elected to pass it back inside to Jack Farriman. We couldn't believe it, could we? But all's well that ends well as far as Wigan are concerned. Wakefield, by contrast, having lost that game last week against Lee by just the 4 points, having won the previous 3 on the trot. Having to defend deep in their own territory again, though, on this occasion, as Harry Smith chips this one, looking for the corner. Wormsley has his eye on it, and he's half spilled it, might get another go. Nsemba going in. Referee says that's a knock-on.
Yeah, it's going to be turned over here. Here Marshall just gets his hand to the ball first. Aaron Moore just deciding that the play's going to be handed over. Josh Griffin will play, but once again they're inside this difficult area. Just coming out of corners is incredibly difficult for ball carriers.
Kaius Faatili is just having a bit of treatment from the physio as well, so adding to the injury problems that Wakefield have got at the moment. You don't want to see Faatili going off the pitch as well, but he looks like he's happy enough to join back into play at the moment. Wakefield complaining that the ball should have been played a little bit quicker. Big tackle goes in there on Kozar. Mason Lino in towards Griffin to the halfway line, and back again with Harvey Smith. Mason Lino with one of those big spiralling kicks that he's famous for, and that's gobbled up nicely by Zach Eckersley, and Faatili comes straight out towards him to try and give him some extra.
Those kicks can be very difficult, but Eckersley just patiently waits underneath that one and collects it with ease. And again, the Warriors, Liam Farrell slips, but they're straight on the halfway line. This game, you know, the opening 10-11 minutes has predominantly been the Warriors have had much more field territory than the home side.
It is still very warm here in Wakefield tonight. It'll be a strength sapper for both sets of players, I'm sure. So Wigan come away with it down the right-hand side. Adam Kieran just pushing his way to the 20-metre line. This is the last tackle again. Back again with French. A high ball over the top and a chip towards the corner. Everybody going chasing after it, including Wormsley, who this time gets there first and takes it well.
Yeah, that's a great take. That's the 3rd time that they've bombed Lachlan Wormsley. I'm going to put him under pressure tonight, but he gets an offload and decides to ball play to the middle of the field. It's Pratt who just takes that carry.
Despite the fact that we're now into round 15, this is the first time that these two sides have faced each other this season in Super League. In fact, the last time they played against each other was back in July 2023. I don't know whether you remember that one, Kyle, but Wakefield won it with a golden point, 27-26. We'd quite happily settle for something like that tonight, wouldn't we?
Oh, would we?
We'll see. An awful long way to go still as Wakefield hoist this one forward. Taken well by Wigan. And Jay Fields, it takes 2 to bring him down eventually, as Griffin and Hall give him the treatment.
Yeah, that's good work there on Jay Field. They're just starting now, Wakefield. This is, they're probably, you know, they have to wait probably about 10 minutes or so.
They're going to have to be patient.
They're going to have to be patient, yeah. They're going to have to force errors defensively, because this Wigan outfit can roll through yardage fairly comfortably. You've just seen there Field, Marshall, Wardle, Ecclesley, just the outside backs really helping the forwards out, but Wardle looks hurt here.
Yeah, he's limping a little bit. It looks like he's grabbing hold of his right wrist.
That right wrist.
Jake Wardle. So clearly some kind of an issue there. He's made his way back into the line and is running forward as Wormsley gets underneath at least this one again for the home side.
And he's going to get some practice.
Yeah,
4
there'll be
times.
plenty of those coming at him all night, I should think. Here's Corey Hall for Wakefield. Home fans have come out in droves tonight. It looks like it's pretty much a full house. A big contingent of Wigan fans have also come here this evening, enjoying the late evening warmth and sunshine.
Well, Wakefield are just asking, and the crowd's starting to get a little bit frustrated. They feel there's too much time in the ruck, and I think the next 50-50 call is going to go in favour of the home team.
Well, Aaron Moore does keep a close eye on things all the way through this game. He's telling the Wigan players to get back, because there's quite a few of them who are offside here, and he's now pointing at the ruck. So maybe there are 1 or 2 words being had in terms of shouting at the players to make them speed things up just a little bit, as Marshall brings it forward to the 20.
This is where Wakefield need to invest perhaps a little bit more effort into this defensive set and really contain. That's a better shot. Wonderful tackle there.
Eckersley, the man who went down. As Truman and Nicotimo.
No, that's not what they needed.
And then they go and do that.
I think it was Jay Pitts who just catches him high in a relieving penalty. I was getting a little bit excited off the back of that contact on Ecclesley.
So just coming up to 15 minutes on the clock and no points on the board as of yet. It has been a bit of an arm wrestle so far.
It has, but here's the penalty. Just catches him high.
Harvey Smith with a high shot.
Harvey Smith and Jay Pitts in there.
So Wakefield's having to do the defending again as Luke Thompson brings this one forward for Wigan. Midway inside Wakefield territory. French. Now, Liam Byrne wasn't reading the script there.
A little bit of miscommunication there. Bevan French throws that ball. I think it catches Liam Byrne in the head.
But I've done Liam Byrne a bit of a disservice there, haven't I? It was not the best of passes from Bevan French, to be fair. But do you think he was trying to loop a pass over the top and Byrne was just not expected to be there?
Well, his eyes looked like, and his body shape looked like he was going out the back to Smith. But the pace that he threw it at, I don't think it was quite aimed for Liam Byrne's head.
I think we can probably take that as read. Pratt then for Wakefield with the touch on to Nicotimo.
Oh, nice
Lovely out the back there for Harvey Smith to try and gain a few extra metres. 6 again. 6 again for Wakefield as Kaius Faitili now brings it forward for Wakefield.
16 minutes gone for us, and this is their best attacking option so far.
Lino. Quick offload for Mathieu Cozart. Inside 20 metres now away from the Wigan try line as Smith goes for his left side. Truman quickly to Lino. Very quickly again to Nicotimo, who bounces off the first attempted tackle. Jowett waits just behind him. He's dispensed with the wadding now. Lino. Easy pass in towards the breadbasket of Jay Pitts. Couple of tackles left here. Kaius Faitili going for the right. Faitili! Captain Chaos strikes again. Just give him an inch, he will take a mile. And Kaius Faitili bursting through the line gets the first try for Wakefield.
And don't those fans just love it, Fraser? His 7th try. An incredible return for a front rower. And it was a wonderful, direct, hard carry. You know, he's done it so many times this season. But defensively, I think Matty Pete may not be too happy with this because it looked too simple. Jay Pitts with the layup, he drops to his knees to try and get a quick play of the ball, but then the hole between Thompson and Cade Ellis, it's too big, and the big man, he exposes it. 4-0.
He just turned and he rolled and he went for the line, and it was as simple as that. And I think you're absolutely right, Kyle. Matty Pete will not be happy with the defensive display there.
Look, you take nothing away from the try. You have to put yourself there. You have to carry the ball with intent and purpose. However, that space and that effort in there just isn't quite good enough.
As you say, Kaius Vartili's 7th try of the season. He's played 15 games out of 17 so far this season, 11 of them as substitute. And yes, that incredible run of tries that he scored, particularly the one against Magic, which we will never ever forget, which was very, very special indeed. Max Jowett then with the opportunity to get his 43rd Super League goal of the season and make it 112 points for the year. And there we go, commentator's curse on it.
Goodness me, that's his 10th miss out of 52 attempts. It's not only meat and drink for Jowett, but he's pulled it.
That is a rarity. A rarity indeed.
Vartili, a front row forward in white-hot form. Crowd favourite, we said. And he's got him excited so far.
Certainly is. Darryl Clark, the Wakefield coach there. We saw him last weekend, of course, leading out the team with his grandson Clark, who of course we know is very ill, and a lovely gesture from the Wigan Warriors players this evening, because the warm-up tops that they wore before the game are all being signed and are going to be given to the Candle Lighters Fund in order to help fight against leukemia. And there's a high tackle gone in there, big time.
Yeah, Harvey Smith.
O'Neill.
Yeah, Harvey Smith just sees space. The young 19-year-old hits the afterburners, and Brad O'Neill just catches him high. Again, the space in and behind the ruck, around that A defender. Harvey Smith spots it, and he nearly goes for it on the inside of Thompson. And Brad O'Neill catches him high.
It's a penalty, but we have seen tackles like that get players in the bin this season on one or two occasions. Pratt gets us back and underway, and Seth Nicotimo now just over the line into Wigan territory. As Pitts offloads to Vartili. Smith showing no ill effects, carries on to Lino and Kozar. Good field position being gained here by Wakefield, and the crowd have been given something to sing about after that Vartili try. Can they get another one here with Nicotimo?
It's a big carry there from the left edge back rower. It's that similar setup shape again.
Just short of the 10-metre line as Pitts this time brings this one. He's going for it himself early doors. This will be the last one though. As Smith goes to his right for Lino. Is he going for the grubber? Yes, he is, to the corner. They're chasing after it. Wormsley shepherded away by Marshall.
Yeah, smart play there from Mason Lino. Just threading a needle, turning Liam Marshall around. The weight on its kind.
For a moment,
to get 6 more.
For a moment there, I thought we were going to lose another camera as well. It was very, very close. And we can see here that I think the cameraman's having another nightmare there, but it's the opposite corner. Anyhow, Wigan will drop out from under their own sticks. And this is a bit of a tester here for Truman. Well, he let that one run, but it was coming straight at him at some pace. Now Vartili to return it.
An excellent drop out there from Smith. In
towards Kozar. just over the halfway line. Back again in Wigan territory as Smith finds Lino. Lino with a short pass to Griffin. Smith again. Pitts. Fartili. Good, strong, steady progress this as Wakefield have a nice period of possession inside the Wigan half as Jowett chips this over. Eckersley goes chasing after it and he's tackled in goal. They'll get another crack here, Wakefield.
Yeah, this brilliant passage of play over the last couple of sets there from Wakefield. A wonderful kick again from Jowett on tackle 4. Perfect weight once more. Eckersley's got a bit of work to do as he's trapped in that corner, but the chase is excellent from Pratt and Johnstone. Applying the pressure.
So a second dropout in succession for Wakefield. Pressure being put on the champions' defence. It's a similar dropout kick this time, but not quite as fearsome. And now Fartili will run at defenders.
He does well there to step Havard, but he loses the ball. Ethan Havard straight into the action, goes for a big shot. Fartili steps him, but loses the ball. Just that secondary contact there into Liam Farrell.
Well, Farrell knew straight away, as soon as the collision had happened, that Fartili had dropped the ball. And all that good work that Wakefield had done is suddenly undone.
Yeah, we so often reference momentum swingers. And you just felt there that Wakefield was starting to get on top of the champions.
Marshall trying to wriggle away from the tackle of Griffin. O'Neill takes it off the back of Ethan Havard, who's come on as a substitute for the Warriors.
Loose ball there.
Loose pass there, but picked up by Nsemba. Trying to find himself some space in that Wakefield defensive line, which so far has held together very strongly indeed. O'Neill in towards Cade Ellis. 3 needed, now 4 for Wakefield to bring him down. O'Neill waits again. Goes to Smith. Smith with a kick to the corner once more, and Walmsley this time is just escorting that one back towards Max Jowett, just covering the ball for him really. And Jowett took it well.
That is an excellent take there from Max Jowett. He's got the pressure of Liam Marshall. He's also got a player retreating in Walmsley. He disregards both of them, climbs high and takes that, diffuses the threat.
Corey Hall for Wakefield as a cool breeze starts to blow across the side of the DIY Kitchen Stadium, which is welcomed by everybody after what, as I said, has been a scorcher of a day in excess of 30 degrees Celsius this afternoon. Well, it's pretty much nationwide by the looks of things, but it's all going to come to a roaring halt tomorrow, we understand, when the storm breaks. Marshall for the visitors. Lino goes in for the tackle along with Corey Hall. There's Jake Wardle, who seems to have shaken off that injury that he had a little earlier on in the game, where he was holding on to his wrist. And in the meantime, the referee has blown the whistle for a penalty here.
And just messing around in and around that rock. Wardle does really well. Makes himself small, spins onto his front. And the home team just take too long. Jay Pitt's in there again.
26 minutes gone, Kyle. Wakefield leading by 4 points to 0, but the game hasn't really burst into life in any great way, shape or form, apart from that little bit of brilliance from Kaius Fartili.
No, it hasn't. You know, Wakefield have defended pretty well in terms of when Wigan have been down this end of the field. And they've taken their opportunities, probably their only opportunity, but they've been able to ice it, and they lead 4-0.
French, quick hands to Liam Farrell.
Big tackle there from Truman.
Farrell getting a few extra post-contact meters in. As you say, Truman getting in there as Ethan Havard now to the 10-meter line for the home side. The referee just getting everybody back onto the line. Smith back to French. French down the right flank towards Adam Kieran, who's done a good job there. But had Jay Field dropped that, the Wakefield fans are going bananas because they swear that Jay Field had some sort of contact on that saw the ball hit the floor. It matters not because it goes forward here, and Wormsley diffuses it brilliantly again.
The kick defence from Wakefield has been on point so far.
Corey Hall again. The Wakefield fans are still booing that decision. I'll show you that one in just a second.
And the penalty's being given away here, Fraser. A relieving penalty as well. Tom Johnson comes flying in.
Ooh, no, comes off the shin.
He got it right.
Comes off the shin. Well, I know referees get a lot of criticism for when they get decisions wrong, but we should equally praise them for getting it right the majority of the time.
That's a disappointing penalty for Wigan to give away, given where they were in that part of the field.
Well, it's a similar case to what Wakefield did just a few minutes earlier, isn't it? In their own attacking sense.
Back up. Go one.
Liam Hood has come onto the field for Wakefield and stands at dummy half waiting now. He usually plays the ball very, very quickly out of the ruck, as Isaiah Vangenaar, who's also come on as a sub for Wakefield, gets involved in the game. Hood gets it away quickly to Pitts. Quick handoff from Truman, and now Nicotimo. They're back again, Wakefield, inside Wigan territory and threatening. As Pitts finds Lino. Quick ball for Jowett. Wormsley has run out of space, though. Jowett goes wide. Lino goes for the kick into the corner. There's a bunch of blue shirts under this one. Marshall puts a name on it very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's good right edge defence there, straight on top of Marshall. Junior Semba has to wind up and try and get some more metres, but he can't. Wakefield's defence on top at the moment.
In the other game, as you can see, St Helens have taken the lead against Leeds Rhinos.
Go third.
Havard for Wigan. Big tackle going in from Vangenaar.
He spilled the ball.
He spilled the ball. And that will be possession given back to Wakefield in a very, very dangerous position.
Havard there just loses the ball. It is a hot night. And the ball can get very, very slippery.
I was about to say, what is it like playing in conditions like this?
It is difficult sometimes. However, just gets a little help there off Vangenaar, I think. But he has to hold on to that ball. But crucially, Wakefield, they have an opportunity here, 30 metres away. They do like to score off pre-planned moves and sets. You can tell that with Daryl Powell. They practice those areas. Are we going to see another score here, perhaps?
Quickly out of the scrum for Wakefield to bring it through the middle with Ollie Pratt. As Hood quickly to Vangenaar. Hood marshalling his troops away to his right-hand side and finds Mathieu Cozart. 7 or 8 metres away now from the Wigan line. Hood looks left and right, goes for the left-hand side. Very, very quick hands for Jowett in towards Pratt. Over on the far side, Johnstone coming into the line. He's held up just a couple of metres short, Tom Johnstone. Wakefield will get another chance. They've got extra tackles to come here. As a little grubber kick just goes through, and there was a bit of a shove there by the looks of things by one of the Wigan players against Mathieu Cozart. The referee clearly didn't see it, or clearly decided that there was nothing to be taken into account because Wigan have got possession back.
Yeah, it was a very scruffy end to the set, and one that Daryl Powell will be disappointed with. There's a player down in back play here, but Cruz Lehman decides to take off, and goodness me, Mason Lino knocks him off his feet.
Wow. Well, Mason Lino has been absolutely outstanding for Wakefield Trinity throughout the entire season so far, and just look at that on Cruz Leeming. Meantime, I mentioned the shove on Mathieu Cozart a little earlier, and he's having a bit of treatment for that.
We've stopped for the penalty then, haven't we, Johnny?
So some treatment on the ankle by the looks of things for Cozart, back in the side this evening. And more concern for Daryl Powell. When I spoke to Daryl earlier in the week, he told me about the injury list that they've got at the moment, and it is long. There are 8 players on it: McMeekan, Rodwell, Doyle, Hamlin-Welly, Staunton, Renouf Atoni, and the 2 Russells, Matty and Ollie. And it looks as though Mathieu Cozart might be the next one on the list, the way things are going.
It's going to be stopped
It is part and parcel of it all. It is a squad game if you're going to go all the way. Injuries will happen, it's how you deal and cope with them. But Mason Lino, in that act of knocking Cruz Leeming off his feet, was deemed high. He has to be careful. He does like that huge contact, he goes for it. The kick there from Truman.
Yeah, it was Luke Thompson who just sidestepped. Well, the good news for Wakefield is that Cozart is back on his feet, but Cam Scott is getting ready to come on to replace him. Wigan, though, will have possession and get us restarted as we get into the last 8 minutes of the first half. A surprisingly low-scoring game so far, but it's the home side, Wakefield Trinity, who are just 4 points to the good.
On this line, boys.
And there hasn't really been a lot to separate these 2 teams on the balance of play. But the scoreboard is in favour of the home team as Patrick Mago has a direct carry. Offload here, it's loose. French picks it up.
Wakefield get back in defence and get into the tackle on French. Leeming now showing no ill effects from his knock just a few moments ago, scurrying forward for the Warriors. Cade Ellis now turning on the 20-metre line. Referee screaming at the Wakefield players to get back the full 10 metres before Smith. A long offload of ball in towards Wardle. Wardle is brought down. This is the 5th. They want to play it quickly. Marshall through to Smith again, going for the corner. Up go the hands all over the place, and Wakefield come away with it through Max Jowett again.
It's a great take from Oliver Pratt, and he wins the penalty as well. Wonderful stuff there from the right centre. Johnstone looked like he was coming to claim it, but he was that confident in his own ability. He just climbs higher than anybody else. And again, their kick defence has been on point tonight. They've been tested now both sides of the field, but that's a difficult take. Look at the traffic around that.
Well, they will have been fully aware of the kicking capabilities of Harry Smith and Bevan French tonight.
But one thing that the Warriors won't do, they won't deviate away from that. They will keep chancing their arm time after time again.
Okay.
Yeah, the Wakefield backline are going to be in for a peppering. Jowett gets us away. My word, that was close to the line.
What a monster kick that was as well. They go from their own 10-metre line and now cross over the Warriors 40 through Seth Nicotimo.
Hood waiting at dummy half. Gets it into Vanganar.
Monster kick there from Lino.
Do not go early. 4-2.
Hood again to Pitts. Lino, Griffin missed out there. It came off a Wakefield, a Wigan player. Jowett coming away with it, skipping away to his left-hand side. Max Jowett, lovely ball in towards Nicotimo. Out the back again. This is champagne stuff from Wakefield Trinity. But it came off a Wigan player there, and they were very, very fortunate as Vanganar rolls the dice again now for Wakefield, and they sense a real opportunity here with tackles in the bank. Hood wants it played quicker than that. They do get it away eventually. Lino, they're in with Griffin. And having spilled one earlier in the game, Josh Griffin dives down on the ball for Wakefield's second try, and he goes from villain to hero. A lovely little kick through from Mason Lino. Josh Griffin's eyes lit up.
Well, there's a couple of parts in that, Fraser. The first of all was the half break from Max Jowett. He skirts across to the other side of the field, and then I think it's Fanganat who fights for a quick play of the ball. He gets in between defenders. Liam Hood's ball to Mason Lino is crisp and on the money, and the kick and the chase was well worthy of a try, and Josh Griffin scores his 4th try in season 2025. And the work here just causing all sorts of havoc and chaos in Wigan's line. And Wakefield are leading here 8-0. And the champions, they're under pressure at the moment. They really are.
Lovely, lovely little kick through from Mason Lino.
They came up with a great escape last week, and they're probably going to need something else here, because 10-0 at Wakefield, and the memories of coming here and losing in recent times over the last couple of years. This is an incredibly difficult task now, and they're going to have to dig deep.
Huddersfield were a side lacking in confidence, of course, given the fact that they'd picked up so few wins so far in the competition. Wakefield, by contrast, though, banging on the door of the playoffs and playing some fantastic rugby league. It will be a tougher task for Wigan to come back against this team than it probably was against Huddersfield. Max Jowett, well, we expected a similar sort of successful percentage for him in the last kick, and he missed that one. On this occasion,
Nailed that.
he does not disappoint.
And the worrying part for Wigan is Wakefield haven't had too many play of the balls inside their 20. But crucially, Fraser, they've registered 2 tries.
Certainly in the back end of this first half, most of the play has been in the Wigan half.
It has, but you think about the number of players that Wigan have had in that 20 and the threats that they've had with the kicking game. Wakefield have answered everything.
Wakefield then get us off and underway with just 3 minutes remaining in this game in the first half, and Wakefield Trinity leading the champions by 10 points to 0. And good for it.
Oh, for sure. You know, when they've got down that end of the field, they've created enough chaos and taken their opportunities. The first one was a soft try. The second one was brilliant. And Jay Pitts just feeding Josh Griffin.
Here he is, the try scorer. Midway inside his own half. As Hood finds Corey Hall. Good little run from Hall. Hood waits again for the ball to come through, and is always quick when it's out of the ruck. Wakefield piling forward in numbers again over the halfway line as Lino goes for the corner. Marshall takes. But he doesn't get much in the way of meters on the return. Such has been Wakefield's defence when they've been chasing after that kick return.
Well, Wakefield just need to see this set out. It's probably the last set of the half for Wigan, as Ecclesley just tries to roll down the field. That's a half-decent carry. Got a couple of more players here to defend of the home team.
Farrell, the old campaigner for Wigan. Leeming just behind him. Short balls from Wigan, and they're happy to find Harry Smith. Another spiralling kick as it bounces high up in the air just in front of Max Jowett, who had all the time in the world there to think about what he wanted to do.
Good contact there from Cruz Lehman. Johnson's upper body strength just spins out of it. The chase was a little bit laboured inside the final 60 seconds of the first half.
Well, they took an awful lot of work there to bring Tom Johnstone down.
Nothing fancy here from Wakefield, Fraser. They'll just get through this set. A third outside back carry there through Lachlan Walmsley.
Yeah, it's up the jumper time, isn't it, at the moment?
Go third.
As far as Wakefield are concerned. Hood to Vanganar. Still looking to get another extra couple of metres.
Through that out, hold. Go 4.
Hood again, though, just wants it so quickly every single time.
Gone 10 now.
Mason Lino, long pass out towards Corey Hall. And Hall has got away from one defender. Can he get away from the second? No. This is the last one.
Yeah, it was a neat ball out there. The tunnel pass to Corey Hall. And here comes tackle 5. Mason Lino ships it on to Truman. Drop goal.
It looked like he was going for the drop goal, but a defender got in the way there. They get the ball back again, though, here. Wakefield.
1 second to clear now.
And that'll be that.
That's the end of it. And the referee points to the spot. The siren has gone. Wakefield leading by 10 points to 0, and they have been very, very well worthy of this 10-point lead.
Yeah, again, I don't think there's been an awful lot between these two teams. However, the home team, Wakefield, they lead by 10 points to 0. They've taken their opportunities.
Incidentally, when Wakefield do play their next home game, that one against Catalans on Saturday the 5th of July, the Wakefield Past Players Association are doing a walk around the city, 35 miles, in an effort to raise funds for Rugby League Cares and the Wakefield Hospice. So if you get the opportunity to support them, I'm sure that would be hugely appreciated. What will Matty Peat have been saying to his Wigan players in the sheds at half-time, Kyle?
Look, I think he'll be fairly happy in terms of when they've been down in good ball. They keep the kicks going. They will get an opportunity through them. However, for me, I just think that defensively, the middle unit of Wigan have just allowed this Wakefield outfit to poke the nose through, find spaces in between. They've perhaps been a little bit loose in that department, but they have to stiffen up on their try-line defence. Again, Wakefield only had a number of play of the balls down that end, but crucially were able to score. And the Warriors, you know, they won't be panicking just yet. There's still enough quality out there. They're a top team, make no mistake about it.
Straight away, you can see some of the eagerness there in the defensive tackles from Wigan. So maybe a bit of a flea in the air in terms of making sure that they push Wakefield back when they are in possession. As Wakefield come away with it through the middle. 10 points to 0 they lead against the champions here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium, but you write off Wigan Warriors at your peril. A full half to go, and as much as Wakefield will be happy about leading by 10 points to 0, they will not feel comfortable one shot.
No, they certainly won't, and it's important for Wakefield that they don't try, and I don't think they will. Look, 40 minutes is an awful long time, but shut up shop as that kick from Mason Lino might bounce kind.
It was just short of Marshall.
Just over that sideline there, 30 metres away. You get a sense, you know, the next score really does put the cat amongst the pigeons either way.
Wigan then will regain possession midway inside their own half as Eckersley takes the tackle. Leeming just behind him, finding Farrell. Farrell almost up to the halfway line. Patrick Mago waiting for it, but they go for French instead.
Fairly quiet, hasn't he, French, this evening? He's lost that ball one-on-one, but it's a penalty. Yeah, there was 2 players in the tackle initially. It's a silly play. You have to say there from the back rower, Seth Nicotimo.
Well, that's not the kind of thing that you want to be giving away in these early stages of the second half.
You're just putting your team under enormous pressure. Having to defend the most difficult part of the field, this final sort of third.
Smith gets it out to Mago.
And he's lost the ball here as well.
He's lost it as well.
Patrick Mago.
Yeah, he's wanting a captain's challenge here by the looks of things.
He looks confident.
Wigan challenging the ruling of a knock-on.
So for the first time this evening we have the captain's challenge, and for the first time this evening we'll hear from the video referee Tom Grant.
So, captain's challenge from Wigan. They're challenging the on-field ruling of a knock-on. So in possession at this point. You see the ball is wrapped up. They're entitled to do like this in this area. So can we get anything else on that? This might help us So look at the arm of the Wakefield player. So the Wakefield defender clearly pulls the ball away from the Wigan player. The challenge is successful.
Well, the players are getting used to it. As the weeks go by, they are now getting wiser and wiser to the captain's challenge.
I said he looked confident, Fraser. You can see the way that Mago, he wanted to try and drop to his knees again, getting that quick play of the ball in that part of the field. And Jack Croft, just a flick of the right wrist, as the video referee Tom Grant pointed out.
Yeah, he knew straight away, didn't he, Mago? He was very, very keen to send that one to the video ref.
Well, that's a penalty, and the usual sequence ends in a try.
Leaming to French and into Havard. Wigan now banging on the door, less than 10 metres to the Wakefield try line. As Leaming waits, to his right-hand side. Mago, can he bulldoze his way through to the line? Not quite. Four Wakefield players in the tackle, but everybody's offside.
Yeah, it's a horror start inside the opening 3 minutes here. 3 penalties in a row, and they are under pressure. The first half, they defended this part of the field really well.
Smith to Nsemba. Another one who just shoves players out the way. Leaming quickly to Havard. Big tackle comes in from Croft. Leaming waiting again. Goes for Mago, short this time. Mago trying to skip his way through, and again, 4 players from Wakefield Trinity eventually holding him up just over the line.
A smart play there just to drag him over the line. It just allows the defensive line to get set, look ahead.
Leaming quickly to French. French with the pass off towards Kieran. Adam Kieran scoring for Wigan. They've been knocking on the door. Wakefield have been giving away possession after possession with penalties. And finally the dam breaks and Kieran is through.
Yeah, Wakefield, their own worst enemy inside the opening 4 minutes. Ill-disciplined, penalty after penalty after penalty, and in the end, I love what Cruz Leaming did there. He just shouldered to the open side, came back and explored, and the pass from Bevan French was straight out of the top draw. Just that little subtlety there from Cruz Leaming, just gets the left edge all bouncing in, and the space is exposed. A wonderful ball there from Bevan French to claim his 14th try assist, but a neat line there cut by the right centre, Adam Kieran. Wigan straight back in this.
Adam Kieran's 4th try in Super League this season. But he now has the opportunity to make it 50 in terms of goals for the year. And as you said, Kyle, with what, 5 minutes on the clock in the second half, that first try really puts Wigan back in the game.
Yeah, I think what it does is it starts to create a seed of doubt in the home team. The champions are going to attack this second half full tilt. And you cannot afford to be as ill-disciplined there as what Wakefield was in that opening few minutes.
Kieran then to edge Wigan a little bit closer. Right in front of the Wigan fans, just below us. Strikes it well, right down the middle. And Wigan very much back in business.
And Kieran converting his own try. Straight over the black dot. Deception from Leaming. And the pass from Bevan French. Wonderful. Adam Kieran courses in for his 4th try of season 2025. And it brings us back to a 4-point ball game.
That's another packed house here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium tonight. Just over 7,700 on a balmy night here in Wakefield. Temperatures starting to drop a little bit, but the reaction is still red hot on the field as Wakefield push Wigan back again. Mago, 3 in the tackle again, and they can't bring him down, but they eventually do. It's like having a juggernaut running at you.
Well, Liam Farrell loses the ball.
Again now, Wakefield get an opportunity. Deep inside Wigan territory. And Ollie Pratt with the chance to find Johnstone. Can Wakefield strike back now? Having had a try scored against them just moments previously as Isaiah Vangenaar tries to burst through Wigan's defensive line. Havard just lifting him a little there as Hood goes to his right-hand side for Leno. And then Griffin. Try scorer in the first half, Josh Griffin. Going for himself here, Liam Hood, almost getting over. Very, very short, very, very close to the line, Liam Hood. Caught the Wigan defence napping slightly there. Corey Hall wants it quickly, waits for it just behind him. Out to Leno. Pitts. Again, just 10 metres short.
We've got a few more plays in the bank here with that 6 again. Gavin away just a couple of plays ago.
Vangenaar. They can afford to be patient here, Wakefield. Hood. Again. Out to Leno. Leno with a little grubber kick through. And Griffin was chasing all over that one. That's good defensive work from Harry Smith.
Again, Wakefield have been threatening down this end of the field. A neat kick there from Mason Leno, but brilliantly watched there by Harry Smith, with Josh Griffin chasing down, looking for his brace.
It's another set on Wigan's own line as well.
It's another neat kick, isn't it? Harry Smith first onto the scene and had to be as well.
Well, we've seen it a few times in recent games, haven't we, when the ball's gone into the in-goal area and some players have tried to dab it down, whereas others you would expect to just try and boot it into Rosette. Safety first. Wakefield on the attack. Jowett to Nicotimo as a big challenge goes in there on Nicotimo, and he's been shoved all over the place here by Adam Kieran, and they've lost the ball and it's come free.
Well, never really looked confident taking that short pass. Oh, brilliant defensive display there from the Warriors, right below us on this right edge.
Adam Kieran quite rightly gets the congratulations from his teammates there. Just look at this work as he pushes Nicotimo towards the line.
Well, not only has he got the leg and he's pulling him and driving him, but just look at the clamp he's got on that ball. He's so tight. Good pitches.
Leaving. Short for Nsemba. And it's boiling up a little bit now on the pitch, this game. These two sides really started to rip into each other in this second half.
It's Tyler Dupree's first carry into the action. He's dealt well by Jay Pitts.
Leeming wanted it played very, very quickly indeed.
The edges of Wakefield, Fraser, are getting up really high and forcing the Warriors to come back into the middle of the field.
Havard was looking for the offload, but it didn't come. And he gets shoved back an extra couple of metres for his trouble as Smith. Oh, this is a high one. A high tester. And Marshall lost it. Walmsley comes away with it. And Walmsley now is the subject of Wigan's defending. The ball's gone out of play. The flag's gone up.
The penalty given away here, Fraser. The kick from Harry Smith was an ugly one. He wanted much more purchase on it. Walmsley's able to get onto the ball, but he's deemed to be tackled, and there's an extra effort in there that ushers him over the sideline. We so often see Wigan do this, catching players and using the sideline as the friend. But they've just asked too much. He's tackled there, the ball carrying arms down, and the extra effort gives the penalty away.
The game is coming to life. Leno chips it out for the home side. Not that it's been a dull 50 minutes or so by any stretch of the imagination, but all of a sudden we're starting to see a bit more of what we may have expected from both of these sides. Here's Fatili, try scorer in the first half, inside Wigan territory. Leno short ball. 3 Wigan defenders on that occasion against Jay Pitts. Hood quickly spinning it out. Lino's ball, little quick handoff, and Pratt with a decent run.
Good cover there from Adam Kieran, an important tackle.
Jowett in towards Lino. Cam Scott was waiting for it, but the ball didn't come. Hood again, Truman with the kick in towards the corner. All eyes on it, including Liam Marshall's, and he never took his eyes off it. And he gets some extra metres as well.
Brilliant catch and a great return as well. Here comes Wardle.
We're seeing a bit more of the bit between the teeth for Wigan Warriors now. They want it played quick. And they're showing a real keenness now as Eckersley goes down in the tackle. Dupree
Driven back again.
Cade Ellis with the offload to Ethan Havard.
A decent defensive set from Wakefield.
This
Smith.
is the last one. Simple as you like for Max Jowett, bearing the scars of the first half, where he clattered one of our cameras. Lino back again for Wakefield, just over the halfway line now. Want to play it quick once more. Wakefield. Pratt bringing it forward. Hood skipping back again to Fatili and Semba, and that's a meeting of 2 heavyweights in the middle if ever there was. The referee being
6 again.
shouted at by Liam Hood, and 6 more as Croft brings it forward now, and this is a real opportunity. Huge pressure on the Wigan line as they get it away to the right hand side for Lino. Griffin now.
Good tackle, Harry Smith.
Griffin putting his hand in there, desperately trying to get Harry Smith out of his face. Hood to Lino. Lino shapes and shapes and then eventually gets it away.
Oh, what a ball.
Over the top for Tom Johnstone! Time after time we see flying finishes from Tom Johnstone, and that was another classic. Wakefield extend their lead after so much pressure on the Wigan line, and Tom Johnstone yet again comes up with the goods.
Well, they do score some incredible tries to watch, but that one has been the pick of the evening, and a wonderful finish from Tom Johnstone, who does not need an invitation in the tightest of spaces, and he registers an important score in this contest. But the ball movement from the right-hand side of the field out to this left edge was quality. Just look at the timing, the pass selection over the top, and the execution of the finish is straight out of the top draw. But the champions' inability to defend their line on this evening has been quite alarming, Fraser. It's not something that we're used to seeing.
Was fantastic.
But the attack was of the highest quality there. When they get on the outside, and Tom Johnstone, I mentioned that we've seen him for so many seasons come up with wonderful finishes, and that's just another one to add into the catalogue.
Tom Johnstone extends the lead again for Wakefield Trinity. And once again, it's now the home fans who are in full voice here at Wakefield.
And again, I make that the second full set defensively that Wigan have invited Wakefield into that end of the field, but they haven't been able to see them out.
Tom Johnstone's 6th try of the season. Jowett with the chance to make it 2 from 3. It's a very tight angle, this one. This time, he nails it right down the middle.
In the northern end of the crowd, they go bananas.
We are back to a 10-point ball game.
Yeah, nothing. It was 10 points at the break, and it's now 10 points again. But this ball over the top from Truman, wow. Perfection. Just a floater into a winger, arriving at full speed. Evan French does ever so well to try and get there.
I know we've seen Tom Johnstone finish like that time and time again, and I know that they practice those kinds of finishes, but it's always breathtaking, isn't it, to see it when it actually happens in a game.
Sure is.
One of the many reasons why we love this sport. Wakefield on the attack again.
It's a big carry.
Tremendous work. Cam Scott it was who came forward. Now Jack Croft.
This set is in fast forward. You can see the points. You have to be out there stinging. But they've just rolled forward with ease of Wakefield again, finding spaces between two middle defenders.
This is the fifth.
It's loose.
Lino going for the corner again. Up they go. Marshall once more. Marshall has been absolutely rock solid in that back line, time after time when those kicks have come in.
Yeah, he's probably been one of Wigan's best this season. He's ever reliable, never lets his side down.
And again, look at the pushing back from the Wakefield defenders.
They've just gone 100 metres in that set after boot to ball. And look at the urgency from Wakefield.
The fitness of these players is absolutely incredible. We're coming up to the hour mark. They still don't look like they're going to rest in the slightest, and yet it has been such a boiling hot, scorching day. It's still very warm, still very humid. The lungs will be absolutely burning, Kyle.
Yeah, they will. And again, though, Wigan, even though there is time running out as we enter into the final 22 minutes, they have match winners out there, players that can come up with moments of brilliance. And Wakefield have to be on red alert for that.
Wigan have been in incredible form. They've won each of their last 9 league outings, including their last 3 away from home, with a combined margin of 132 points. So if you take points off Wigan Warriors, you have achieved something special.
Yeah, but I just feel over the last couple of outings, their performances probably haven't been where the coaching staff, the group, the fans would like to see them at. However, they have been winning, and that's crucial at this point of the season. But they're up against it here. There's 10 points to claw back, and time is ticking away.
Just over 20 minutes remaining. Johnstone for Wakefield as it comes back again to Lino. Yet another one of those kicks. Yet another tester. Yet another successful take from Jay Field.
Well,
there could be a penalty here.
Yeah. The linesman's called it. Aaron Moore decides to go with him.
There's been an escort here.
Yeah, I think it was on Josh Griffin. But just keep your eye on the level and speed at which they chase this ball. They are hungry for this win tonight. And the kick defence. The kick defence there on that left edge have let Sheffield down.
Well, when you're up against it in this occasion, giving away a penalty like that.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, watching that back again, I think they've been harshly done to there, Wigan. Because I'm not. No, that's not a penalty for me.
Oh, they could have challenged it. They could have challenged it. Both teams, still have their challenges remaining.
No, that's not a penalty for me.
Well, if Wakefield come up with a try here,
well, they want to take
Wigan will be kicking themselves. They've decided to go for the 2.
Well, they're going to take it to 2 converted tries to level this as we enter into the final quarter. And Max Jowett, his kicking ability is right up there.
If he scores this, it is a gift. It is a gift for Wakefield.
Sometimes you create your own luck, but it's a harsh gift if you're watching as a Warriors fan. Because I don't think Liam Marshall did anything wrong there.
Max Jowett settles himself and concentrates. Here it comes. He's missed it.
Maybe it's justice served there.
Well, you could certainly argue that.
Well, they're going to get the ball back here. 20-metre drop out there for Harry Smith.
I understand each of them on the relax.
Referee just having words with Harry Smith because he's concerned by the sound of things that one or two Wigan players are starting to get a little bit perturbed, shall we say. Kaius Faatili then for the home side, smashing his way into the Wigan defensive line. Jack Croft offloaded. Jowett picking up the loose ball. Hood getting it away for Josh Griffin. Two in the tackle on Griffin. Hood again remonstrating with the referee that Wigan are taking too long. Pitts. Ball's come free again. This time it's knocked on.
And Jay Pitts there, just spilling the ball, just as they were having a little bit of momentum behind them.
1 second, I'm in conversation. What do you want to do? You don't want to do it? Okay. He's leaving it. Middle. Over here, boys.
Good explanation from the referee as to what's going on there.
Yeah, it was Ethan Havard there.
I've got it just in collision.
He comes in to finish the tackle, and Jay Pitts loses the ball.
He didn't want to challenge.
He has a duty to hold on to that.
And no challenge.
Head in. Head in, Mason. Mason, head in. Now, ball in.
You just get the sense that both sides now are starting to fray a little bit at the edges as far as nerves are concerned. So much on the line here. As Bevan French holds it for Wigan. O'Neill in towards Thompson.
Well, it was French who supplied that killer ball for Wigan's only try, but barring that, it's been pretty quiet this
Wakefield
evening.
have kept him quiet, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Field. There's another one who's been kept fairly quiet as well. Corey Hall gets the tackle in on him.
Go for good Kaius.
Smith. Havard. Faatili. And Hood. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yes, Hood in the tackle there. Over it goes into the corner. Johnstone. Safe as houses underneath that one.
Nice little kick there just to trap left winger Tom Johnstone just 5 metres away. As he's going to get around here for his second involvement in this set. The Warriors driving back.
Another big pushback. Trying to give Wakefield some of their own medicine. Walmsley. Big challenge on Walmsley. Big hit from Brad O'Neill, and he goes in for a second bite. But gets it away to Hall, and they're under pressure on their own line here, Wakefield, but Griffin coming away with it. Shrugs off the tackle of Nsemba.
Good kick there from Mason Lino.
It's a real tester.
Finds space
all
well.
the way back to the line. And Field will have to pick it up from deep inside his own territory. And Faatili straight in there. Marshall.
But just look at what that kick has done as a neat offload there from Marshall.
And they're hunting in packs again in defence.
Yeah, there's a lot of Warriors players not even back behind the ball yet.
Kieran.
Now they're all back.
Ellis.
Well, they're going to have to roll the dice at some point here, Fraser, and find a score out there.
Smith. High kick rather. They need to be able to get Bevan French into the game more. But so far, they haven't been able to do that because of the way Wakefield have snuffed him out.
Go one. On the mark, Tom.
Walmsley.
He's had a good evening's work, hasn't he, Walmsley?
He has put in a shift.
Yeah.
Pitts.
And who's together now? Go first.
So Pratt, in actual fact, as Hall comes away with it again.
Who? Babatini 10. Go four.
Woodwaite's just behind him.
Still 4.
Banganar
Go 4.
to the halfway line.
5.
Big tackles going in all over the field here.
Go 5.
Lino then with the kick. And this time, Jay Field underneath it, and Marshall not far behind him. And there he is again, Kaius Faatili, but that one's come out of the tackle. Field getting the treatment from Liam Hood.
Bouncing him off the floor there. Another good shot.
Another one.
Yeah. They're flying into him at the moment.
Well, Wakefield have got their tails up at the moment. They sense the possibility of a famous victory against the champions.
And a lot of it comes off the back of how well Mason Lino has kicked this ball, particularly in the second half. I mean, Farrell finding some space and behind the ruck, and Bevan French pushing up there.
O'Neill just behind him. Goes for Smith. Smith kicking to the corner. Jowett chasing it, but Wormsley is the first to get there.
It's another good kick as well from Smith. Now it's Wakefield's turn to have to find some energy. Their big forwards are 20 metres away from offering anything. Some difficult carries out of that right pocket.
This is where fitness is really going to start to tell.
This is what Wigan like to do. They like to suffocate you and force you into making mistakes.
Go 3.
Good shot in well there, Mago and John Stone.
Go 4. That shoot on.
But again, out comes the kick. That's well taken again by Jay Field. Meantime, we've got another Wigan player in back play who's receiving a little bit of treatment. I think it's Liam Marshall. It is, and he is walking very gingerly now.
Go 2.
O'Neill, short to Farrell.
That will be a big loss.
Well, the man's a try machine. Ellis with the short ball to Mago. O'Neill again, waiting just behind Mago, and finds Ellis. Misses out, Farrell goes for French instead, and now Field. Farrell getting in the way.
Go 5.
O'Neill's ball to Smith.
Luke.
Everybody underneath it again, and a bit of interference going on. Wigan get hold of the ball again. Smith, can he go all the way? No, he's lost it. Ollie Pratt in the tackle there. Regains possession for Wakefield.
He just felt that Smith needed to find that pass out to Farrell. Wakefield survive, and Semba with a big shot through the middle of the field.
From Nsemba. Corey Hall. It's bubbling, it's boiling here at the DIY kitchens.
It's slipping away from the champions for a second successive week. They found a way last week. They're in similar territory. Are they able to replicate that?
It would be a monumental fight back if they were able to do it from this position against this side.
Well, we're nearing 10 minutes left in this game, and they have to find 10 points.
Smith finds Lino, and Lino goes for the kick. Marshall, with that little injury to his ankle, goes down. Gets back up again at the second attempt.
Again, though, a wonderful kick from Mason Lino, but the chase is equal to it.
Marshall is suffering.
He's not given Marshall any chance, really.
Eckersley out wide. Massive hit going in on Bevan French there.
Pratt straight on it. As soon as that ball was passed, he was there to shut it down.
Look at how Wakefield are refusing to let Wigan out of their own 20 metres.
Well, this is tackle 4, and they find it difficult to get ground. That's a better carry from Thompson. Here's the last one.
Smith again. splits the two men at the back right down the middle. Johnstone is the man who will pick it up. Over at the Totally Wicked, St Helens 14, Leeds 4.
All the way back.
So a similarly tight game over on the other side of the M62.
10 points of the difference in that one as well.
Wakefield, the effort that they have put in.
Considering as well the number of players that you referenced they had out. Darryl Powell said midweek in an interview that their players have to be at their absolute best if they're going to get anything out of this. And goodness me, they've delivered for the coach. There is still time left in this game. But what a stellar performance it's been from the home team.
So far, every single player has run themselves ragged. Lino, kick to the corner, and that one goes out.
Yeah, smart kick there. Just rolls it in. Allows the rest of his teammates just to get some oxygen back in the lungs, to front load themselves again defensively down this end of the field. I think they've been spot on in terms of containing Wigan's yardage. Apart from that opening couple of minutes where they just invited the Warriors down to that end of the field through repeated penalties. Since then, the discipline and the togetherness, the connectivity defensively has been spot on.
Kieran is tackled for Wigan. O'Neill, Farrell, Cam Scott and Kaya Svartili in the tackle there. As French now trying to find a little bit of magic from somewhere, but it's not really happening for him tonight. Ellis gets it out to Smith and Semba. And Semba looking for the offload. Didn't happen. There's another Wakefield player gone down there as Smith hoists this one to the corner. Jowett goes chasing and he spilled it.
It's gone
Picked
back.
up by Johnstone. That was very, very fortunate, and he's still going here, Tom Johnstone. Brilliant running from Tom Johnstone.
Well, yes, Max Jowett loses that ball, but Tom Johnstone's there to cover for his mate and pick the ball up and return it with interest.
They were very, very fortunate there, Wakefield.
Sure were.
Pratt.
Hasn't he been in good form this season?
He has indeed. He's played 16 of the 17 games so far this season, 15 of them at centre. Ollie Pratt, he's been very impressive.
Jowett there just finding a quick ruck space in between those middles.
Last one. If it goes.
Ooh.
Out on the full.
There's that Wigan's opportunity here. They're going to start a set. They've still got 60 metres to get up to that other end of the field.
1 second.
So Wigan unexpectedly get an extra few metres.
I'm almost say, Fraser, you feel like they have to score in this set.
Well, running repairs for Aaron Moore due to one of the earpieces causing a few problems for the referee. It doesn't look like he can speak to the video ref at the moment, so we'll get that one sorted for him very shortly. Just over 6 minutes remaining in this game, Kyle. Wakefield leading by 10 points, and they are, well, shall we say, a little bit fortunate there. But what a return from Tom Johnstone.
Yeah, look, they are fortunate, but the other side of it is, Fraser, that they're putting bodies in and around it. Tom Johnstone's effort to come off his left wing to cover for his mate, to anticipate that that might be an outcome. He's first on the scene. If he doesn't make that effort, Jay Field walks in and then we've got a game on. You know, the special efforts, it's a real togetherness, this display tonight from the home team.
Yeah, yeah, massive hallmark of how Wakefield have performed. So hopefully we are back in radio communication between everybody on the refereeing team.
Just a word on the job that Darryl Powell's done. Let's not forget, this side were in the Championship last season. They came into Super League not just to make up numbers, but to progress and grow. Their fan base has been right behind them under Matt Ellis and his ownership and the guidance of Darryl Powell and Michael Shenton. Paying dividends.
One, move.
Very much doubt that people would have
Kicks again.
tipped Wakefield for the possibility of a playoff place come the end of this season right at the start, but as I say, they're knocking on the door.
No, it's not
as is
over
Patrick
yet.
Mago.
It's not over yet.
All the line now. Go one.
As Huddersfield will tell you. Here's Nsemba. Nsemba going for the line. 10 minutes, 2 metres short.
Go two.
This is big. This is a big set for Wigan.
Still two.
French.
Come back, still two.
Backwards towards a loose ball for Fields. Fields with nowhere to run. Nsemba is going to have to go straight at defenders. It's exactly what he does. Griffin, Lino, Wormsley, all in the challenge.
Three.
Along with Banganar, pushing him back just that little bit extra.
Go three.
Ellis.
That's still three, isn't it?
Fartili loses the tackle,
Back.
but eventually it comes away. Wigan still got it. Bevan French. French, chip over the top, chasing for it. Jowett, thank you very much, I'll have that.
Yeah, good read there from Jowett. French just goes for broke.
Sorry, mate.
He
Jowett
read it every step of the way, didn't he?
kills the play.
Hold the 10. Go two. Thank you.
Corey Hall for the home side.
That's you again, go third. That's you, Corey.
Kaius Fartili.
Oh.
And this is where, Kyle, you need to start having a think about who is going to be your Betfred player of the match. Should be a number of candidates this evening, I think, so you can have a little think about that, and then we'll hopefully speak to that player a little bit later on.
Yeah, there's been some fine performance out there, particularly for the home team.
We're into the last 4 minutes of this game. Wakefield Trinity leading Wigan by 16 points to 6. Wigan spray it down the line. It's gone backwards, and Kieran has a knock on there. The touch judge has come on to confirm that, and the Wakefield players celebrate like they've won the game.
Another loose pass there from Bevan French.
Well, Wigan are going to challenge this. They're not happy with that decision, so they want to get this one sent up to the video referee once again, and Tom Grant will have to sort it out.
The on-field decision of a knock-on. So for this at this point, it's Adam Kieran. The ball is touched there. We're just looking to determine if the ball goes forward in relation to the ground. So it's touched. And the ball travels forward in relation to the ground. Challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, a little bit of desperation there perhaps on Wigan's part to try and get possession back, but the challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, you understand why they're going to challenge it, given the time left on the clock, 3.5 minutes. Is that the moment that rubber stamps this as another loss here over in Wakefield for Wigan, and a huge dent in the race for the league leaders' shield. There's still plenty of games left, but 4 points.
4 points was the gap between Wigan and Hull KR coming into this game, and 4 points looks like it is going to remain, unless they can do something pretty spectacular, as they did against Huddersfield last week at Dewsbury. But they're going to have to score twice.
They're going to have to go one better and score twice inside the final 3 minutes. And Wakefield have the ball in the hand at the moment, so it makes it almost improbable.
Corey Hall. Tackle is eventually completed. Into the middle for Kaius Fartili, who has to be one of the candidates for the player of the match.
I think Darryl Powell will reference every single one of those forwards who have been depleted. But they have been brave, and they've been tough, and they've worked together for a famous win.
Smith into Pitts. Time running out. Smith. Out to Lino. Crash ball in towards Griffin. 10 metres short. Another try here for Wakefield would put it to bed. Lino out towards Hall. Hall goes down in the challenge, and that is the ball handed over. And they've got just under 2 minutes, Wakefield, to try and defend.
Yeah, you call it game over, Fraser. It's almost impossible. Kind of trapped in that corner to find 2 scores, kick 2 goals.
O'Neill into Mago. Massive hit again from Fartili. O'Neill. Thompson. Fartili again. I'd love to know the tackle count for Kaius Fartili tonight. He must be huge. Here's Dupree. Dupree just about getting away. Just short of the halfway line. Smith looking for options. French eventually picks it up. Trying to find a little special run, but none shall pass, says Josh Griffin. Oh, that's a lovely ball forward here, though, and Field could be away. Wigan are going to go into the corner. Jay Field from out of absolutely nowhere. There was no way on earth that try was on, and then all of a sudden, Jay Field picking up the loose ball and picked his spot. Are we set for another grandstand finish?
Perhaps so. And you just knew that if Wigan were going to get anything out of this game, Field or French would have had a part in it. French supplies the pass for Adam Kieran's try, but the kick from Smith is delicious. And the chase from Jay Field, as soon as he catches that, everybody in this stadium knows that he's going to race away for a try. He's kicked the goal, and they've got 10 seconds left.
Well, Wigan have opted not to take the kick. That's the information I'm getting through from the sidelines. Wigan have decided not to take the kick. We've got 10 seconds left on the clock, so they have to score here.
I was too busy with my head turned towards you. They've took. It's still a 6-point ball game because there's only 10 seconds left
to take
on
the kick.
Yeah.
Well, if they score here, Wigan, and they get the conversion, then we're into golden point. 10 seconds left on the clock. Wakefield have possession. Max Jowett will boom this one into the corner. There it goes. And Wigan now have less than 10 seconds to do something very, very special. Harvey Smith with a chip over the top. The ball's gone out of play. The hooter has gone. Wakefield cling on. And just look at the joy on their faces. They have beaten the champions. And they have been more than worthy of this victory.
Yeah, there was nothing between these two sides in the first 40. Wakefield took their opportunities. Second half, the Wakefield team have been exceptional. Mason Lino, the way he's kicked the ball and just guided his team into a gritty defensive mindset. And that try from Tom Johnson was a special one and a fitting winning one as well.
I think it's probably fair to say that Wigan, at the moment, we saw it last week against Huddersfield, we're seeing it this week as well. They are not in the best run of form right now.
No, they're not, and given how they performed last week and got out of jail, I fully expected this Wigan outfit with Bevan French back in there to go full tilt at this game with an aggressive mindset. And they've been anything but that. Defensively, they were a bit off the mark tonight. Well, Wakefield, you know, credit to them. They've been exceptional, and they've came away with a massive win here in terms of Darryl Powell's quest for that top 6, Fraser.
You can take nothing away from this victory for Wakefield Trinity, given the number of players that they have got injured. Every single one of those players has run their blood to water tonight. The effort that they put in was absolutely immense.
It was enormous, particularly for that forward pack as well, given the number of absentees that they had. But I thought the back five for Wakefield were incredible. Pratt, Johnson, Walmsley, Jowett, Hall, all superb. And I really like what the right edge did tonight. Josh Griffin led the way defensively through some of his efforts on